Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Book of Jake, where we explore things that help you grow, build, and live better lives. Today, I want to talk about something that might sound completely counterintuitive at first, but we have to. It's about being boring. Yeah, that's right, being boring. The same routine, the same meal, the same habits, the stuff that doesn't exactly get you those mega likes on Instagram or goes viral or spark group chats or everybody sending it to their auntie or uncle. But what if I told you that being boring might just be the secret to winning long term in your fitness, your career, your relationships, and even your mindset? So let's get into it. We start with my favorite topic, which is fitness. Now, if you talk about fitness, if you scroll Instagram and you see people are doing different exercises, different techniques, different this, but the truth is the legendary ones maintain the same thing. They keep doing the same thing, day in, day out. The same routines. Most of the time, they tweak it a little bit. If you're weightlifting or you're bodybuilding, you're doing compound sets. Once in a while, you'll do some ancillary work, but it's generally the same thing. The reason they keep changing it around because if I show you the same thing, you're going to get bored, right? So, doing 45 minutes of weight training 3 times a week, walking 10,000 steps. Now I'm doing 15,000 every day. Eating chicken, rice, broccoli again might be boring, but you know what? It works. But you know what's sexy? The before and after photos, the transition, the abs, the six pack, that works. And the only way you get that sexy, ridiculous outcome is by doing the boring stuff over and over again. You know why? If you keep doing the repetitious stuff the same way, you actually, by power of deduction, you actually know what's happening. Okay, think about it. The people who get results aren't the only one constantly trying 30-day new challenges, detox teas, detox colon cleansing, hopping from CrossFit to HIIT to high rocks to yoga to Pilates every week. I'm not saying they're wrong. If they work for you, great. But the truth is, most people give up before they even start. Okay, they're the ones who stick to a plan, track their progress, and do the reps even when they don't feel like doing it. Personally, I lost 10 kilos during Ramadan, doing the same exact thing every day. It wasn't exciting. Okay, it was discipline and it worked. There's power in being boring. Okay, so let's talk about your job. You know what's boring? Turning up on time, replying to emails, keeping to a schedule, following up, doing the same role for 3 years while mastering it. Okay, but guess what? That's how people get promoted. That's how people come up in life. I've coached C-level execs who are rushing to become C-levels, who are VPs who are rushing to become C-levels. But let me tell you, the ones who rise are the ones who are consistent, who actually have their foundation right. And to build foundation, it's boring. It's boring. It's the nitty-gritty. It's the soft skills. It's stuff like that. They build trust. They don't chase every new trend or try to reinvent themselves every 6 months. They quietly show up and deliver every day. This podcast is a clear example of it. I started off with like 5 followers, and I'm down to about 1,200 followers, subscribers, which is really cool because it's just picking up slowly. And I keep doing it. Every time I go out, somebody says, "Hey, Jake, I heard your podcast, really liked it. You were on my FYP. Really like your determination, like your motivation. Thank you for inspiring us." And it's happening. I'm getting recognized slowly but surely. I could have given up, but no, I keep going. Of course, I don't have grand numbers, but you know what? I'm actually reaching out and touching people, which is great. Okay. Being boring in your career means you finish what you start. You follow processes even when no one's watching. Okay. You're the person people can count on when things go sideways. And over time, you become indispensable. Now, being boring in relationships, here's one people don't talk about enough relationships, okay? We've been sold this Hollywood version or Bollywood version of love, passion, fights, makeup, sex, fireworks, drama, trips, excitement, blah, blah, blah. But real love is peaceful, predictable, even boring, you know? I see this uncle and auntie in Monkera walking every day. They're like 75, 80 years old. Every day they hold hands and they walk. They go and have a meal and they walk back. And they're so happy. That's what I'm talking about. It's texting, "I'm home, babe, I'm coming back in 5 minutes." It's going for the same Sunday morning walk and hit a toast together. I do that with my wife. It's knowing your partner's routines and moods like clockworks. Now, that's kind of boring, but it builds trust, safety, and depth. You don't want excitement that keeps you guessing. You want boring that lets you rest. So if your relationship is feeling stable, even eventful sometimes, that might actually be a beautiful thing. Of course, you go for your date nights and stuff like that. But Yeah, safe is actually safe. So here's the idea. What if boring is actually a superpower? Think about it. Let me give you three quick principles. Call it the boring life framework. Routine over chaos. Success isn't built in big mountains. It's built in morning routines like I get up in the morning, I pray, I walk, I try to get my 15,000 steps, my meals, my supplements, blah, blah, blah. Weekly habits and yearly consistencies. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is a mood. You go and watch on the new Avengers, you're excited, you see that, and then it disappears. Discipline is a decision. You decide you want to be disciplined and you progress. You won't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway. Process over results. Fall in love with the process. Not every day will be exciting. When I was trying to lose 10 kilos during Ramadan, I didn't actually think I'll do it, but I was shocked. But when I stepped on the scale with exactly 10 kilos, but I fell in love with the process and I'm going through it again. Every day you move forward. So here's my challenge to you. What in your life could be more boring for your own good? Maybe it's your workouts. Maybe it's not the fancy workouts. Us, the competitive bodybuilders. Their workouts are generally the same. Same. They have the complete same meals. Maybe it's your money habits. Maybe it's the way you show up for your team, your family, or yourself. Because in the long run, boring isn't boring. Yeah. Boring is sustainable. Boring is powerful. Boring wins. Okay, that's it for today's episode. If this hits you, share it. Please share it with someone who's addicted to excitement, but missing the magic of consistency. And if you're enjoying the podcast, leave a rating, drop a comment, subscribe, like, share, and send it to somebody who needs to hear it.